When I got this set, I couldn't help but wonder what else these bricks could become. I wanted to bring this Mars vehicle back to Earth as something completely new. Sturdy, playable, and packed with functions, using only the original parts, and as many of them as possible. First, I had to take the old model apart. 1,600 pieces don't let go that easily. But what should I build? As so often, the answer came from the wheels. Gray tires usually mean one thing: forklift. But with a tread like this, it was never going to stay indoors. So what were the must-have functions? A lifting mast that could tilt and lift, a rear axle that could steer and oscillate, doors and a hood that could open. Time to find out if any of it would actually work. A strong chassis starts with strong frames. The foundation for the lifting mechanism was in place. I needed a rock-solid front axle. It had a lot to carry. There was just one problem. These guys were way too tall for my forklift. So I laid them on their side. Problem solved. Right at the front, the tilting lifting mast would eventually go. I really wanted to operate it from the rear. Anything else would have been a little boring. Too bad the actuator from the original set was pretty short. The solution was a sliding extension, nicely guided inside the frame. I had to use these guys at the rear axle too. Still too tall, so down they went. Turning them into proper steering hubs was the tricky part. Lying on their side, they suddenly needed a lot of room to steer and oscillate, but I wanted serious steering angle. The solution was a rather tricky mount, no wider than a single stud, yet strong enough to handle the job. I love challenges like that. Now it was time to build the body. White seemed to have the numbers, but I wouldn't know until the end. Every white part had to pull its weight, even this little fellow. A splash of orange for the step, then a couple of stops for the fenders, and onto the frame it went. The other side got a dummy engine, a climbing ladder. Check. Things got interesting at the rear. That's where a forklift really gets its character. The remaining white parts had to blend the fender smoothly into the rear, while leaving plenty of room for that huge steering, oscillating wheel. Next up, the cab. The seat panel got to be a seat again. I certainly wasn't complaining. Those angled lift arms turned out to be perfect for the cab frame. Drive shaft up to the roof. Success. I've sat on worse. Floor mat, controls, doors, handrail. All it needed now was the obligatory blue spot. Next came the hood, complete with an air filter and a self-locking hood prop. Then came the real heart of the machine, the lifting mast. Those large Technic frames turned out to be perfect for building a long, rigid mast. Check. So far, everything was falling into place. The forks came together quickly, and the fuel hose found its new purpose. Everything worked smoothly. Well, almost. The direct drive simply couldn't hold the load. One pin, one tiny rubber wheel, more friction. Problem solved. I was pretty happy with the result, but something was missing. I had a forklift, just nothing to lift. So the remaining bricks became this, and this. And finally, someone to drive it. And someone to keep him company. Stay creative. It's all in your bricks.